looks that way, wouldn't it, if it was separate?
Yeah.
Easier in your job.
So we'd have to come up with about $8,000 out of the building fund to get all 3 doors replaced.
Right, and there's
8,200 or
There's,
something.
we put 21.9 in it this year, plus the,
Yeah, carry over from last year.
yeah, I think we,
Yeah. So we want to make a motion that,
yeah, there's 36,000 in it.
right, to take all the money but the overhead doors, put in the equipment fund, which is, what's your figure, Paul? Just keep the overhead doors
Figure
up.
out.
About 10.2, I think it is,
Yeah.
somewhere around there. Into the equipment fund. And
I don't think we need a resolution, that's just what I do.
That's just what you do.
Yeah, that's what
We'll
we've done
divide
every
that
time
and
we
we'll-
sell stuff, we just,
Okay,
It's actually $10,047 would go in one account and $26.50 into the other.
okay.
Plus we'll sell the other 3. Sold.
Yep.
So
Assume
do
they're-
we wanna,
Better than the first 2.
But they're gonna bring about the same, you know,
Yeah.
big used doors.
Yeah.
we're lucky that they'll be happy with the first 2 and they'll want this next 3.
Yeah. One of them that came and looked at it today told me to build his garage for 5 doors.
Oh,
I don't think he got the big bill.
okay. Okay, so on the bid on the garage doors, I would like to stipulate, just find out what the R value is on the action doors so they're comparable to the other bids.
Yep.
And as long as they are, I would entertain a motion to
Go with
go
that.
for the lowest bid, action doors at
20, what was it?
36, just under 36, 35.96 per door.
So moved.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I guess you can go ahead, Mark, with the stipulation about the R value.
Okay.
Okay?
Just so everybody knows, if we've seen today, DEC was in the Grapple Bank doing, just doing inspections, taking pictures, nothing serious. They just every yearly follow-up. Because of the weather, they're out, able to get out and get some of them.
Right.
Last month, I brought up that we were gonna need a dozer to go in there so we can spread topsoil and reclaim, which would be the north end of the gravel bank. We got bids called around today. Jamie called up to Abley's and to get a D6 it was $1,870 per week. We figured we could get it done in a week. And Beisler was at $2,000. That's for an 850 John Deere with a ripper, a cab, blade, all of that. One from Abley's with a 10-foot blade.
That
Was that fully enclosed cab, Jamie, on the cat?
That I don't know, so.
That includes truck in there, right?
Yeah, trucking was in that, right?
Yep.
My thought was, I mean, we can check and see if that's got the full cab, but if we're gonna do it, and we get rain, one of the Beisler's got stuff work out a lot better. We can keep right on going in bad weather.
Right, that.
Because it would have a cab on it, cab heated.
When do you,
Probably not until end of March, first part of April. Get that done.
this is something that DEC has requested to get done?
Yeah, I have to
Okay,
get that
I'm just,
done.
you know,
They've actually bugged me the last time
Right.
that we did that, and I had told them we were gonna do it. Well, then our pile was a little bigger, so we went right back to that same spot, which they didn't have a problem with, but now they're starting to,
Right.
you gotta keep reclaiming that.
the only thing I would like I'd like, we got time, I guess, is to let a contractor give a bid on it, doing the job. Instead of, you know, I mean, maybe they could do it for 2,500 and we don't have to type a man. Just a question, I mean, we have.
It's, personally, I'd rather do it ourselves because I wanna go in there and I gotta strip off on top of the gravel bank so we can get the crusher up on top. Because right now, what's happening is we're setting on blow sand, it's all in the bottom, so we can't get gravel out of there. So we wanna make a road up in there and get the crusher up on top so we can feed that.
That'll all be done in that week's time.
Yep.
Well, I know there's a contractor here, and I'm not, I mean, I'd like to see what it would cost us.
A lot more than that.
A lot more now, okay. And that's where I'm trying to come from.
And when you compare your doses, compare the sizes to,
Right.
because the 6 and 850 is a lot of difference between them.
850's that much bigger.
Faster too.
Yep, yep.
That was Beisler's, I think.
Bison, 850 with cab and rippers too, right?
That's the only
Yes.
dozer they have available. They don't have a 6, they go from 650 all the way up to 850, so they're
Mhm.
willing to do the same price as the 6. And the
Okay.
price is Gravely, that's county bid.
Oh, okay.
It's right on the book, so.
Yep.
Letting 850 for that money in a week is cheap.
Okay.
It will more.
That's what my question was, how was it, you know, in the ballpark or not, that's all. Okay, so you wanna put it on the books to get it,
Yeah.
and then just
We'll look
play it
at-
by ear?
Look and see what the weather's gonna do, if it's, weather's gonna be decent and it doesn't turn into a mud fest. Do it as quick as we
April
can.
and, March and April. would be
Sometimes it can be muddy,
Okay.
but
So, what's the board think about the 850 for $2,000? That's trucking included, that's delivery.
I make a motion to rent a 850 from Beisler for $2,000 plus trucking, or included trucking.
Now, is there any other,
Is Beisler's the county bid price too?
For one.
They did not bid a dozer that size. They were willing to basically match everything.
so a motion has been made,
I second it.
we have a second, any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
question was brought up about the truck. I don't know if you heard when I said to Jeff, supposed to be here this week, is what we were told. It does have a VIN number. We're getting a VIN number. So hopefully, once it's in there, he's gonna try to push it to the front of the list so they can get the hydraulics and stuff put in it, and then it can get back to us and then get that done itself.
Well, we'll keep it out of the salt till next year, that's all.
Yeah,
We're that close, there's no sense exposing it this year.
yeah, the thing with that is if you drive out on the state road, it's in it already.
Truck it in.
Yeah.
But
So-
we get everything mounted on it, it'd probably be spring anyway.
Like so far, we just ordered 175 ton of salt. Last year, we were at like 300 ton.
Right, right.
So we have saved, but that's kind of a misnomer, just so everybody remembers, first 3 months and the last 3 months come out of the same budget. So you might be saving money now, but comes October, November, December, we have an early
But
winter.
the first 3 months, the last 3 months of 15 helped save us from the first 3 months of 15. They had to, if we can get lucky here, we'll, you know, hopefully. Anything else, Mark?
No, just conversation you and I had the other day. I've been trying to get a hold of Alan.
Okay,
And Lisa's number comes dead. I have no idea what's going on with that, so.
okay,
And as far as Alan, I've left some messages with him and have not got back to him, so I do not know where we are. as
Okay.
far as
Well, I
signing
got
up
his
the rest.
card home, maybe I'll try Rattlin's chain.
Yep,
Okay. And that is what we're talking about. Alan is the engineer for Constitution Road Use Agreement.
Williams.
Williams, right, Williams. And, the lawyers, our lawyer, Constitution's lawyer, or Williams' lawyer, have come to a tentative agreement, wording of the road use agreement. And now, last week I talked to Cheryl and she said John
Stockley.
Stockley
Yep.
is taking what they had put together to Constitution, Williams, whoever, to, get it, agreement with them that yes, that's what we'll agree to. Now they'll have, Stockley will send our attorney a copy of what they've agreed to. And if it's what we've agreed to, or what our lawyers have, we haven't seen it. What our lawyers, they give us some, pluses and minuses and stuff on the thing. And we'll, they'll look it over, make sure that everything that they had agreed to is in it. And then we'll have a public hearing here with the attorney to go over it. And-
We've seen drafts. of the
Yeah,
agreement. I
but
mean,
not-
well,
not-
it sounds
not-
like
not-
we haven't seen,
Well,
it
not
could
in
be
this
in-
agreement.
It
They've
could be
changed wordings
interpreted
and
as we
stuff.
haven't seen any agreement, but we've seen
Right.
drafts.
We've seen, different drafts, every town has probably got a different draft, and what our attorney said, if they're dealing actually with 4 or 5 townships, Kaufman and Gerhart.
But that's actually kind of coming together now with all of the different
Right, the
townships.
different attorneys in Kaufman and Gerhart are working together and got this put together. So what they're feeling is if everybody's in agreement and it comes out, this way, that the road use agreements that have been signed, that, I know Davenport signed, and I think Masonville told me they'd signed, that they could benefit from our, bargaining or our compromising, try to getting more than what they offered. So hopefully everybody will benefit from it. This Mark was talking about Allen. What this is about is they've told us they're gonna use 7.2 miles in the town of Franklin. Well, there's some spots where that 7.2, there's no place to turn around. So are they gonna backtrack the way they came in, or are they gonna go down the road, turn around, and come back? Because through the negotiating, the Constitution, Williams, whoever you wanna call it, didn't wanna pay for anything above and beyond. This is what they were gonna pay for and go from there. Well, they've got them, if they go 25% over, like let's say we're at 8 miles, if they go 2.1 miles over, they gotta pay the same amount for the extra 21% or 20, the whole, anything over the amount, mileage. This is why Mark is gonna get together with Alan and ride the roads and say, here, this is where you're unloading. You're gonna back out of here, right? You're not gonna, there's no place to turn around. You gotta prick on one side and you gotta bank on the other, if you gotta go down the road and turn around, that's the road you're gonna be using. So that's one of the things that our lawyer said, you wanna get it, pinpoint it, that this is all the miles they're gonna use, because that's what they're gonna pay for, is miles they're gonna use. And I think it's $7,500 a mile is what they're gonna pay up front for lawyer fees and engineering fees, basically is what it's for. But that's still in a it's between lawyers right now, so who knows when it'll get done. Yes, Tim?
You said something about there's a 25% further run they can do, but not paying for it?
Up to 25%. They didn't want to pay for anything over and above. And they got it, so if they go more than 25% over what they've agreed to, then they gotta pay for the whole, that, if it's 2 miles, they gotta pay for 2 miles more road. And that,
25% is gonna be how many miles more?
it would be, if they're at
So, another
7.2,
2 miles, 2 miles, less than-
well, it'd be less than 2 miles,
So, okay.
I mean, it's, you know,
We,
go ahead.
know, Mark will probably know how far they're gonna, if they're gonna be able to turn around and go back.
Well, that's what, you know,
So, because if they go run an extra mile, that's how many hours they're not paying for?
$7,500 and not paid
Just 1
for,
mile. That we could,
that we should be paid.
right,
And that was
not
and
even
that's,
the 25% is pay for what you use.
that, I agree, and that's what they wanted to do, but they came at us as paying for nothing above and beyond. And they've got them, supposedly the two lawyers agreed at 25%, anything under 25%, they won't pay for. But if they go to 30%, they gotta pay the whole 30%, not just the extra 5%. And, you know, there again, it's still, I'm hoping that that's how I am understanding it. And it's not where it should be, but it's better than it was. I guess that's all you can say. You know, they should pay for anything and everything they use, and they're trying to, you know, not paying for any more than they have to. But that's where we are on the road use agreement. It's still in the lawyer's hands. Okay? And through this last month, I've been talking with the board members and Paul and everything. I want to look into prepaying our fuel bill. Now we take a bid in April for X number of gallons, no, not for, actually, no gallon limit on it, is there, Mark? You know, and if we could, I mean, well, just tonight I sent in the paper, we've got all the revenue for this year in tax money is in the bank account, or gonna be in the bank's account. And what we earn interest on that fuel money is not much. So I've talked to Maravidos and I've talked to Suburban. I tried to get, did you get a hold of Ian?
I wasn't able to, I left a message.
I called KIFS and asked them if they'd be interested or not on a, you know, 25,000 gallons worth of fuel. What's the price? Here's a check for it. And we'll get it through the year. You know, and the good part is Maravido hasn't had any competition in how many years, Mark? I mean, Suburban, nobody else bids.
18 years that I've been doing it,
You know,
they don't get much
nobody else
competition.
bids. Suburban's interested.
Well, KIF did have the fuel oil.
Right,
oil
yeah,
money.
yeah.
Can you get, like you do with the homeowner, where it's a guaranteed max price, but if it does drop lower? you
That's
raise the
something we
price.
can
Yes,
ask.
No, they
That's
negotiate,
what we
that's
do.
the way it works
That's
on
what
the
we do
budget.
now.
That's one of the ways we
No.
do it.
So we gotta
Rack,
spot it.
rack price
A firm price.
always fluctuates, so what you do is you just take what would be a delivery fee, and then you can go with the rack price. So if the rack price goes down like it is right now, then you can buy it at that, plus the 40, it's usually about 40 cents,
But
or for,
we've never gone with a floating price. 'Cause we haven't, because it's nice to budget. You know, it's good for your budget, you can,
But if the price goes down, you've got more money in your budget, that's why I suggest.
right, yeah, I mean, that's something we can ask when we get into that point, because I know
Price going down is an unusual thing that's happening now, and
the last
don't
2
plan
years,
on it
it's,
happening.
the last 2 years it's happened.
But you still had you had the top price.
We had the cap, right, or it was set, you know, and we didn't drop, we didn't go up, that's what the price we paid. Right now, we're overpaying, but it's still $1 cheaper than last year. Yes? Yep. Did you raise your hand? Pete, yeah.
Have you tried COD?
We haven't, you know, we're gonna be
They've been
advertising.
good, because even when you call them, like,
Right.
they give you a price on the phone, and it's gone down before they delivered it.
Right.
They've given me the price that it's over to.
Right, well, see, this is,
They've been good.
it's gonna be advertised, I'm thinking, you're not gonna be able to go to J&K out of Margaretville, or, you know, if they're interested, that's great. But you gotta have a good-sized corporation to fund $30,000 worth of fuel and guarantee it for a year.
JFK won't be able to do it.
On that, no, I'm just saying, you know, even COD, that's a lot of money that, and you gotta tie that fuel up somehow.
I know Jeff Kate been through it, and he'll charge you
Right.
more money afterwards.
But that's, I mean, yes, it'll be advertised, so it'll be open to anybody. But at least Suburban and Maravitos say, yes, we are very interested. So if we can, right now, how much lower is it gonna go? I thought last spring was about as low as it was, well, it's still going down. So, I mean, and I don't know what kind of price they give for cash, because, as I said, we've got the money in the bank, and it's not earning enough interest to worry about. If we can save 10 cents a gallon,
It's already below the cost of production for a lot of wells.
that's right. So, I mean, if we could tie it in, that's something we've thought of, and we're gonna look into, just as a different variable. Is there anything else? On this resolution for Nicholas Yazinski, I did pass the papers out on Saturday to Seward, Crouch, Bonasek, and Lopez. And Jim Seward thought it'd be great to come from 357 intersection to like down here to 21 through the village for the designation of Nick Yazinski Highway or whatever is what that's for, and the family's behind it. So that was in the process at this time. And then we have, as most people could know or should know, the county did pass a bed tax back in November, December. And does anybody have an idea of how many bed and breakfasts there are in Franklin? I didn't have a clue. I didn't think there was, a couple of them. Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 in Franklin. And if somebody wants to see the list from the county, if you know of more than this, everybody pay their share or help pay their share or whatever. That surprised me when I got the letter and said, holy cow, I didn't realize there's that many different ones. And some are doing more than one. One's a bed and breakfast and one's a...
Art, they're not running arts.
No, but it's still listed. They got this one here, that's on just downhill from our house. That one too, and they've got the yoga there, so I don't know how many different entities they can have under one roof. But, so that came from the county, and I guess that's, is there anything else to be brought up? And we'll open the meeting up, and Bob Miller called me, so Bob, you got